But yeah, this is an open forum, so ask any questions from our presenters, or if you have questions about social media that you've come across in the past month, and we have a hand up.
It's probably really simple, but what do you guys think about the boost post option through Facebook? Do you think it helps?
You want to go with it? Yeah. Okay, I got it. We've used those a few times, and it's really kind of cool. We did it for Great Deals Magazine in Newcastle. We're actually doing offers with them, and we're going to take their magazine and turn it onto Facebook offers. So if you don't cut out your coupon, you can actually take your phone with you and scan it. We're doing it in the testing phase right now of it. We posted that post organically. We only had like 10 people redeem it. We put $10 down to boost the post. 67 people redeemed it off that boost. So it depends on what you're trying to do with it. If it's just a regular post and it has no call to action in it, it's not worth the boost. But it's really cool because you can target your market from there. So when we were doing the coffee, because it was for a coffee shop in Newcastle, we targeted people in a 20-mile radius of Newcastle. And we found an age range that we knew drank coffee and would be free at that time. And those are the ones we marketed to. And we reached, I think it was like 5,000 people with $10. And there were over 300 engagements. So likes, comments, clicks, redemption of offers. They got like 72 new likes off of it. It was really kind of cool for just $10. So it depends on the post. But if you do the post correctly and you pick the right time to launch it, it should be worth your money.
I'm not currently utilizing Hootsuite. My question about that is if I schedule something to be posted, does the post that would go on Twitter and the post that would go on Facebook, or do they have to be identical? Or can you have more verbiage in the one that goes on Facebook, or they go at the same time?
Sure, you'll have to post them separately. The way Hootsuite works, you type out your post or your tweet, and then you select what account you want it to go on. And so, for instance, if you wanted a Facebook, and we actually do this quite a bit with what we do with clients, if you want a Facebook post and a tweet to go out that are similar information and go out roughly at the same time or at the exact same time, I'll normally do the longer Facebook post, because obviously you can type quite a bit more in a Facebook post than you can in the 140 characters for Twitter. And then what I'll do is schedule that and then write a similar post but an abridged version for the Twitter account of that client, schedule it for the Twitter account, just schedule it at the same time so they both go out but they're different. So yes, you can, as long as you do 2 separate postings.
What do you guys think about the just syncing the Twitter and Facebook so when you post? Is it kind of corny or does it look bad?
Personal opinion, and I guess our professional opinion on it, well, we do not like that because you can do, they're different platforms. And Twitter is going to be more for news, links. It's going to be quick little snippets, teasers almost. And Facebook has a lot of content. If you post a post from Facebook, and there's a few businesses that we notice when we're online that do it, you get like these Facebook links, and it shortens everything, and the message just doesn't look right. And what you could do is you could take that, put it in Hootsuite, cut it down, do the same post, only do it once, but shorten it, and have that same effect, and it will look like you're taking the time, even though it's not taking you much more. That's just, some people, it's easy to do. If you just only want to post on Facebook and you don't want to mess with Hootsuite or anything, you can do it. It's going to work. It's going to get that content out to both areas, but you will always find that you have one that is way more popular than the other. So typically when you find that and you do it from Facebook to Twitter, your Facebook page is where everybody's at, and Twitter's just a second thought that not a lot of people follow.
The Facebook page for Inverse Beauty School, I can't post any offers on it. What's the deal with that?
Okay, we had a person that did this. Check to see if you are posting as yourself or if you're as the admin for the page. If it is not on there, there's a bulk feature that you can go and upload a bunch of offers to, and you can do it through there. So there are ways to get around that, but we had a client, or somebody at a social media workshop, they could post statuses and photos, but they couldn't do anything else, and it was because they were posting as themselves. And you can look at the top, there's a little like light blue bar that's there, and it'll say posting as blank. They just flipped it, and then it popped up as the offers, events, and other things on the page. So, and if you have any other questions, I can talk with you afterwards to check on it.
Okay.
How effective do you think from an age demographic perspective for your services?
So,
Age demographic?
Our services, we have clients, our youngest client's probably about 30-ish. And ours is a little bit middle-aged to a little bit older generation. Those are the ones that tend to use our services a little bit more. But we also have a few younger people who just want to focus on their business and don't want to have to spend all their time on social media. So on an age range, the posts we actually create, they go from anywhere from 18 to 60 as a target market on that. But our client base tends to be a little bit older, but we have a few younger ones.
Curious if there's any type of business that you don't typically recommend social media marketing for.
I think everyone can benefit from a portion of it. We may not recommend certain social networks to certain clients. One I know anyone can benefit from. I know we don't talk a lot about Google+, but that's one that has a lot of added benefits than just being a social network because it has SEO optimization built into it. So even a company that isn't really going to benefit by being on Twitter or even Facebook, which Facebook is sort of the universal online community right now, they can still go onto Google Plus and gain some benefits, even if they don't have a lot of followers, because Google's going to be tracking their posts and then generating that into the search engine optimization so that client can then have their thing show up in Google more often than not using Google Plus. So
we also find that if you're in a B2B setting, Facebook is the place to be. We will recommend people not to be on there. That B2B world, LinkedIn is the one we'll recommend you to go to. Everybody has one they can use. It's just how you use that. B2C, business to consumer, fantastic on Facebook. You've got a lot of consumers on there. Twitter's going to be great. But if you're in a more professional setting, Facebook isn't going to be a place because it's more of a personal spot. Twitter's going to be a great place. We have other professionals in there, and LinkedIn's going to be great. It really depends on the business. Now, if you are somebody that there may be some people out there, we haven't ran into them yet. But we always, when we go and meet with clients, we'll tell them, we don't think you should be on this one. If you're going to focus your efforts, we're going to focus you on these 2 social media platforms and really try to beef those up instead of trying to spread you over all 20 that we can think of. Because there's no reason to be everywhere. You like to be everywhere, but there's no reason to spend your time on stuff that's not going to reap the rewards for you.
If somebody hasn't really worked with Twitter very much, do you have any tips as to how to make that work for you? Or
here's the best way to describe Twitter. If you haven't used it a lot, think of it just as email. That's the way to think of it. Think of your mentions, the little @ symbol. That's just going to be who you're mentioning. It's going to be your to box on an email. Hashtags, think of them as subjects. It's going to be how you categorize what the tweet is. So that's what your hashtags are going to be used for. Be short, sweet. We suggest using teasers. So if you have content on a website, posting a link and a little tease about what the information is to get people to want to click on it. We always suggest on the social media to direct them back to a content hub. So if it's your blog, if it's your website, if it's a place where maybe your Facebook page is your content hub, you want to direct everybody over there. Just think of it as email though. So what would you like to tell someone in short 140 characters about your business, and what are you going to do with that call to action to direct them to do something after that?
And also keep in mind, it's much more of a live, constant feed rather than what Facebook is, where Facebook you want to post, maybe twice a day. Twitter is much more to the moment, so you can be posting frequently, like we were live tweeting this event. I think we sent out like 7 tweets in the time Chris was speaking, whereas on Facebook we did 1 post to promote the event. Just sort of the difference there.
And all the tweets seem to be you picking on me.
Yeah, it had a lot of ones making fun of you, but...
Yes.
I'm in the pet industry, and I just this week found Petco is using Pinterest to advertise their products. So do you use Pinterest as one of the platforms that you recommend for your clients?
We have 2 clients that we do we do it with. There's some really cool SEO benefits off of it, but also it depends your target market. If your target market is females between the ages of like 20 to 50, Pinterest is going to be great for you. If you have a lot of visual things, great crafty stuff, food, houses, fantastic. I worked for Remax of Indiana for a year. I was doing their social media for the entire state. We did a Pinterest account. We were targeting first-time home buyers, and we were putting all the cool things that you want to see in a home and tagging it back to Remax so that people would click on them, get tucked back to the site, and then be able to find an agent that way. With pets, I know my wife, I keep calling her my fiance. I just got married. It's driving me nuts. She's actually sitting at home right now. She just got her tonsils taken out. She has been on Pinterest looking at pets. I've seen pictures of dogs. I don't even know what kind of dogs they are. We've seen cats, dogs, everything. That's what she looks at. That's what she does when she has no other time. She doesn't want to watch TV. She'll pull up Pinterest and look at funny cat pictures or cute dogs. I have one that looks like a cloud. A dog that has white hair just looks like it's a poofy cloud sitting there. Why I know this, I have no idea. But in certain industries, in certain target markets, that would be really, really good. But you got to ask yourself, who are you trying to target to make these purchases or convert to clients?
Do you have a dog or cat yet?
I have 2 kittens.
Maybe she's trying to suggest maybe you need a dog too.
Only 2 pet limit in the apartment. That's it. That's my crutch right now.
Pinterest has business accounts now, right?
We have not played with those, but they do.
Actually, we have. I'm actually developing a business. Sorry, well, no, this is for Fishers. This isn't for Hosky, so that's why. But Fishers is getting ready to launch a Pinterest business page where they'll be promoting a lot of community events and things like that, summer camps for kids, for their moms to look at. But it's pretty similar from what I've seen to a personal account, just that it's categorized as a business page. I haven't noticed any major differences between the interface of actually using it. It feels just like a personal account, but again, it's just sectioned off as a business. And I'm pretty sure there's a way to transfer a personal account to a business account.
I tried to kind of do that, and I got scared.
I haven't done that personally, but when I was sort of reading up on the addition of the business page, there were, I believe, a step-by-step to transferring the personal page to business.
You can't have just a personal.
Should be able to.
Business.
You could. Again, you wouldn't probably want to do a personal page that is your business and then another business page. You'd want to just have one. But if you wanted to have your own personal account and then a separate one for your business, you could do that. And I can find that article that talked about how to transition it and things like that. We can get you set up with that.
It's not a hard process. I took good interest is from what was originally the only time you had a personal into business, and it doesn't really even change anything. It allows you to install analytics on your website, but if you don't do that, it acts just like a Pinterest page did before. It gives you a chance to change your URL and stuff like that, but nothing bad can happen.
Jamie question actually, so Jamie's not just up there.
Yeah, sorry.
Can you talk a little bit about, just briefly, about the evolution of how things are going from a social media standpoint for mutual? I know that social media marketing for banking is a little bit different than it is for restaurants and other types of businesses.
Sure. So banking, I always say this, but banking is not sexy and it's not generally fun. It's not what people want to connect with or naturally think that they should connect with. But I mean, we are a B2C and a B2B type of business. So we utilize Facebook, Twitter, and we're on LinkedIn to post our career opportunities and that kind of thing. And we have a YouTube channel, but we just post commercials and we don't post very often on there. But for us, we have really strived to be what we call a face behind the logo, just showing that we're real people living in our communities where we serve. And ultimately, I think as a business, you always want to have the ROI of growing, whether it be sales of checking accounts or mortgages and that kind of thing. But that can't be our priority because people, I mean, maybe in other industries, but in banking, people don't want to be sold checking accounts through Facebook or Twitter. So we just spend our time promoting events in the communities we serve, things going on within the branches. We are pretty generous in the community as a company, and so we try to highlight that and help people see that we believe that we serve a purpose in the communities we serve. And when I joined the department it was 3 years ago, we had about 50 Facebook fans and maybe like 35 Twitter followers. And so in that 3-year time frame of just really focusing on being that face behind the logo, we're at just shy of 1,500 Facebook fans and I think just shy of 800 Twitter followers, which isn't a great amount, but we've really not done any paid kind of things. We've boosted a couple posts, we've done one Facebook campaign, and it's all been just trying to engage in the conversation. One of the things Matt and I talk about a lot is instead of us just being that voice out, saying this is what we're doing, this is what we're supporting, we've tried to be the commenter to say, hey, good job, congratulations to this organization, like commenting on their things that they've posted. So we've found that that's been successful for us. But where things have transpired a little bit is really more of a customer service thing. In the banking industry in particular, we have more people now reaching out to us through social media about problems, questions, or concerns. And so that, for us, is really, I think, another great opportunity to excel and give good customer service. And I'll just say this real briefly here. We had a situation where somebody posted on our Facebook page a complaint about a fee that they received, and that they would never switch all their banking to us because they got this fee. And so we reached out and said, you know, we are glad to talk to you about why your account got a fee. We're glad to explain how this works, and we're glad to help figure out if there's a better solution for you. And we ended up, he gave us an opportunity to have that conversation, and he's moving everything he has to us. So it's really become that, I think, that avenue where people, you know, they complain. All your friends, I'm sure you see, they complain about everything under the sun, but they don't really expect somebody to respond back and have that desire to try to help. So that's really where it's become, what it's become for us.
And I'll add on that, what I've seen, and it's very strange from our end, customer service is huge for financial institutions, especially that. There's a few banks that utilize it to actually do education. So there's a couple of banks, when I was looking to buy a house, they were doing webinars over first-time home buyers and how to get a mortgage, and then they were promoting those through social media, and you would see the post pop up, and you're like, oh, wow, I'm buying a house. Maybe I should look at that, because they were targeting people in that age bracket in certain areas with their posts. And then you said no one wanted to sign up for a bank account online. There was an app that popped up on my news feed, and I don't know how in the world it ever popped up on there. It was called Simple. It was online banking made simple. And I signed up for a bank account online through Facebook because I saw it pop up. No idea why. I don't use it, but I was really interested in what they had to say. And I looked on it, and I was like, wow, that's really cool. And banking isn't sexy, but I just thought it was really interesting that it popped up on my newsfeed. And I still get things from them now that I follow their page. And they're really cool little startup, which I'm not sure I 100% get, but it was really cool. And I ended up going with them because of that. So I did sign up for a bank account. It was very strange.
You didn't enter your personal data, did you?
No.
Do you find this is sort of a general question, do you find there's a migration of these kinds of banks from the big brick and mortar banking?
Well, I mean, there's definitely a transition for people going more digital. I mean, you can deposit a check from your phone. For us, for a lot of banks, and
Some banks are actually going to start charging you to talk to a teller.
Well, I don't think
that's not here, but
I don't think that it will transition as quickly as maybe the idea of it would transition. I mean, we want to be more digital, but when it comes down to buying a house, I don't know, Chris, but if you have this experience, but people still want to talk to people about things that they don't know anything about, or that they're not comfortable, or it's a new endeavor. And so when it comes to buying a house, when it comes to establishing a trust or your retirement account, I mean, people still want to have those conversations. So we definitely see less traffic in the branches because you can deposit your check, you can pay your bills, you can do everything without walking in the branch. But when it comes to the major transaction items, people still want to meet with someone.
If I'm going to take $100,000 or something to do something with, I do not trust an online thing ever. I will walk through a door to go talk with someone because that person, even though they may do everything electronically and send it all through the internet, all of that, I still trust a person more than I do a computer.
how old are you?
22.
What about the generation that follows you?
I still think that when it comes to big decisions or transactions, that personal touch, even if it's someone sitting there with you, walking you through to do it online, just to make sure you don't make that mistake, because there's a lot of mistakes I could make. And if you have a professional there sitting there walking me through, for instance, I was buying renter's insurance. I didn't get the house. When you quit a job, they say you don't have income coming in, so you can't get a loan. Even though I was making more than what I was making in my job, but I couldn't prove it. So I ended up getting an apartment in Pendleton, and I just bought renter's insurance the other day. I wouldn't buy it online. I went through all the quotes, did everything, got to see all of that. I would not purchase that online because I wanted someone to make sure that they walked me through it so I didn't make a mistake. Make sure I had the coverage I needed, all that stuff. I think that is always going to be there because I just don't think you trust the internet. You know it's there, you know it does what it's supposed to do. I'll buy things online all the time. Big, major decisions I will never do unless I have personal interaction. Maybe a family friend, maybe a banker, maybe an insurance agent, but that touch to make sure I don't make a mistake and I have what I need is what I want.
And I use it as somebody else to blame. That was that guy.
Yeah, there's that fault.
Anyway, hey, we need to wrap up here. Thank you so much to our panel. I appreciate that. Yeah, give them a round of applause.